Hello YouTube, ArkyPrepper here with my first video in my brand new channel. I want to take this opportunity for the first video to introduce myself, send some shout outs to some guys who were really instrumental in getting me off my tail and getting me to actually make some videos, and then I'll talk about the philosophy of what I do and why I'm doing it. First, who am I? Well, I am a Christian, and I put that at the top of the list because it's at the top of my list. It kind of defines everything I am and everything I do. I am a husband and father of 3 small children, and when I say small children, my youngest is still a preschooler, and my oldest is still in elementary, so fairly young kids. My oldest is getting to the point where, in a true SHTF situation, he could be of help, but he's still pretty young, so I am the only prepper-minded individual in my family, which makes for some interesting family dynamics at times, especially because it creates a situation where I've got different priorities from my wife at times, so which kind of explains the next one, which says I've been prepping for several years sporadically. The reason for the sporadic nature of the prepping is exactly that. My wife wants to go out to dinner. I want to buy 2 more 50-pound sacks of rice. Sometimes dinner has to be the priority there, so we don't get to prepare as much as we want. And I am located rurally. Obviously, with a name like ArkyPrepper, I live in the state of Arkansas. We live about 10 minutes outside of a medium-sized town for the state of Arkansas, and within an hour of the Little Rock metro area, so we're rurally located, but we're not too far away from everything. I want to send some shout outs. There are 5 individuals whose videos I've been following and watching for a long time now, that finally, just watching their videos over and over, finally convinced me to get involved and actually create this new channel and create some new videos and contribute to the community. Brooklyn Prepper, Yankee Prepper, Neil Prepper, Sustenance and Covering, and Southern Prepper 1, in no particular order. Obviously, if you are interested at all in the prepper lifestyle and you are not following these 5 guys, just go ahead and pause this video right now, hunt these 5 guys up on YouTube, and go ahead and follow them. You will not regret having done it. These top-notch guys. There are a lot of other guys, really great people in the community who I didn't offer shout-outs to here. A lot of them have influenced me, but these are the guys that I've been watching recently that finally, kind of said, yeah, I got to contribute as well. So I appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work. I can't wait to see the videos y'all got coming up. I really want to talk about philosophy in this video because I think that's important. If you've been involved with the prepper lifestyle at all, or survivalist stuff, you've probably heard of the triangle of life, and it talks about the 3 requirements for life that we as humans can live for about 3 minutes without air, about 3 days without water, and about 30 days without food. The triangle analogy there works really well for those 3 things, but I was using it initially as kind of a planning point for my other things, and I found that it fell apart pretty quickly because, well, there's a lot more than 3 things involved in this. So I kind of eliminated the triangle and just kept the points, and I turned those into little hexagons that I could stick together. And what that did for me was began to create a map for myself, where I could begin to plug things into these hexagons and create my philosophy and my planning strategy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. By using these individual things that I can plug in together, kind of a modular planning method, I can create a map of the things that I need to do. Anybody who's been involved in the prepper lifestyle very long at all will tell you that it can be overwhelming. We start talking about all these things that need to be prepared for and need to be prepared. It can be completely overwhelming to the newbie. It can be overwhelming to the guy who's been doing it for a long time. But it can absolutely be overwhelming to someone who's just woke up, just now realizes, oh my God, I got to do something and I got to do it now. So by breaking these things down into bite-sized chunks, into categories, and defining them on my map, it offers me a simplification, if you will, a way to work on individual things without getting completely overloaded. Obviously, in my map, God is at the center of everything, and then some of those initial protection things and preparation things are right surrounding that. Now, obviously, this map is not complete by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot that's still not on here, but you'll see these kind of map bits come up as we go through things, because it's kind of the way I do things, kind of the way I plan, kind of the way I make things work for me. The really great thing about this analogy, about using this mapping structure, is that I can change out the things that are on the map and get a completely different map that is very useful. For instance, here I've traded out the preparations for the philosophy, the why I'm planning, the who, what, when, where, why, how, and how long of why I'm doing what I'm doing. These are the fundamental questions. If you don't know what you're doing, why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, if you don't ask yourself these questions, these 7 questions, and answer these 7 questions, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to get completely lost in the details, because it's these questions that define what it is we do. When you come and ask me, how much food should I have in my food storage? Well, that depends entirely on how long do you think, what is it you're planning for? How long are you planning on the SHTF situation lasting? If you think that all you're planning for is an ice storm and a power outage, then maybe you only need a week's worth of food. But if you're planning for the apocalypse, we need something radically different there. So these 7 questions, and I'm going to go through each of these questions here in just a minute as they relate to my life. We'll start right now with the why. Why do I do what I do? Well, because I believe that the biblical account recorded in the book of Revelations is now at hand. Now, I'm going to lose some folks, some viewers right there. They'll punch the dislike button and close this window and go and find something else to watch, and that's okay. But you have to understand that God is at the center of my map, and my beliefs are at the center of my map, my philosophy map. And because of that, what I read in the book of Revelations, I believe is currently happening. And there's some reasons for that. Maybe I'll go into it in some other videos. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here discussing it, but that is the why of what I do, because I believe that when the Bible says there's coming a period of time when you won't be able to buy and sell stuff, that is exactly what it means. There's coming a time when you won't be able to buy and sell stuff unless you buy into the New World Order and its evil. So that is why I do what I do. The who. Well, the who is kind of a question that can trip you up and trick a lot of people. Obviously, there are 5 members in my immediate family. I am a husband and father of 3 children, so that means I've got a wife and 3 kids at home. And that obviously has to be the place that I start. I've got to think about them first. But it can't be the place that I think about last, because within 5 minutes of my home, I have 3 family members. Within 20 minutes of my home, I have 4 more family members. And if you go all the way out to 40 minutes, less than an hour, then I can add 2 more family members. And these are people who are not prepper-minded. I wouldn't expect to find more than 2 or 3 days worth of food in any one of their homes. But within 40 minutes of drive time of my home, there's another 9 people who are near and dear to me, who are family. And these people know my mentality, know who I am, and in a true SHTF situation are real likely to come knocking at my door. A 40-minute drive, when you walk it, is a long, long walk. But it is not unreasonable if the power has gone off and is not coming back on because of a major collapse of some sort. It's not unreasonable to believe that those people will walk that far to get to my home. And of course, if we talk about that same 40 minutes drive, within an hour of us, we've got dozens and dozens and dozens of friends who live within that range. Some of them know the mentality that I have, some of them don't, but it is reasonable to assume that some of them might come knocking at our front door. So Yes, absolutely. If you're not already preparing, you need to prepare for your immediate family. But please don't let that be where your preparations end. Um, Prepare some extra if you can. Um, be thinking about, I'm not going to be able to turn away when starving friends and starving family shows up at my front door. Um, God wouldn't turn away starving people, and I'm not going to be able to either. I know that about myself. And because of that, I have over-prepared, if you will. Although I don't think there's any such thing as over-preparing, but you need to be thinking in that way. So there you go, the philosophy of who. Could be as many as 20 or 25 people, even though there's only 5 people who live under my roof. The what. I believe that the United States is looking at a complete economic collapse in the almost immediate future. I believe that there will be 3.5 years of hell on earth. Again, I may have just lost some more viewers. Sorry about that, but this is what I believe, and this affects what I do. I believe there's a time coming in the almost immediate future, and we'll be talking about when here in just a second. But that's going to change everything, the way we live, everything we know is going to change in that period of time. Here comes the when. When is perhaps, I'm just going to read this, because when is perhaps the most controversial and difficult to plan for. It could happen tomorrow or 10 years from now, but I don't believe either of these is true. I believe we will see the beginning of the end in the next 12 months. And folks, I've learned some additional things in the last week, even since I wrote that. This fall. Keep your eyes open for this fall. I can't tell you what I know or how I know it, but there are some things that are going to happen, economic policy-wise, foreign policy-wise, that are going to change this country radically and dramatically. Keep your eyes open and be awake, people. If you are not already planning, if you're not already planning some, you're going to be in real trouble. If you're not already planning, you need to start planning immediately. You need to start putting some stuff away immediately. It needs to become one of your highest priorities in life right now. If you are planning, keep up the good work and move those plans forward as fast as you can. It's amazing the things that are happening out there right now. The where. Where is perhaps the easiest question for me to answer because we are well located, and in extreme circumstances we can pretty easily isolate ourselves to whatever extent might be necessary. And in an effort to keep YouTube from jerking this video down because somebody reports me, I'm not going to talk about what that means. I will tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean digging a hole in the ground and hiding for 3.5 years. I do not believe that is the appropriate response to the SHTF situation. We were put on this earth to help one another, and I absolutely believe you got to be available in order to help one another. So, but we could isolate ourselves and protect ourselves from some dangers if we needed to. Finally, the how. Well, I'll get to the how long, I guess. How is the ongoing quest of the rest of the videos that I do. When we talk about how I'm going to be storing water, how I'm going to be getting access to water, how I'm storing food, how I'm doing all of these things, how and what will pretty much be the questions that I try to answer in the rest of these videos. The final question on that was how long. Because of my belief that we are seeing the beginning of the end of human history as recorded in the Bible, I believe that we have to prepare for the 3.5 year period referred to in the Bible as the Great Tribulation. I believe it. I believe it's coming. If I lose some more viewers out here, I'm sorry. But I absolutely believe we're staring it right in the face, folks. It's coming down the pipe very, very soon. You need to be prepared. I want to leave you with some cliches, but they're cliches for a reason. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Without vision, the people perish. A journey begun without the destination in mind is doomed to failure and frustration. Remember, folks, be a sheepdog, not a sheeple. Keep the powder dry and your heads high. Thanks, all.